I did not notice this very interesting thing the first time I read the book.
Is that he missed her shoe?
She missed her shoe.
She does?
Rhys hissed and lowered the shoe, his eyes meeting mine as the silk dissolved to glitter black dust in his fist. His fingers unfurled, the last of the sparkling ashes blowing into oblivion, and he surveyed my hand, my body, my face. Interesting, he murmurs. She did that.
Welcome back to the Book Reading Bitch Queens podcast. I'm Allie.
And I'm Sam. And this week we are looking at Chapter 5 of A Court of Mist and Fury. In this chapter, Feyre is taken to the Night Court. We have a little bit of some going on at the wedding before she's taken. And we get our famous shoe throwing scene. And then we get kind of our first glimpse at the Night Court and some conversation between her and Rhys. And then he tells her that it's time to read, girl.
We're going to school.
Yeah, it's hooked on phonics, Rhys and style.
Nobody remembers what hooked on phonics is. It's too old.
Nobody remembers what hooked on phonics is?
Well, boomers will.
I'm not a boomer.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
A Court of Mist and Fury.
My first note is Dorian's hair.
My first note is similar. It's close to that.
Yeah, he angles his head, his blue-black hair shifting with the movement. I said, that's Dorian.
Yeah. I didn't notice the blue black, but yes, it definitely gives it. I noticed those violet eyes sparkled in the golden Feylight as they fixed on Tamlin. What is Feylight and where is this light coming from? Is this just decorations? Like I feel like I've never heard light described as Feylight in this.
Yeah, I think that we talk about it again, especially when we're in when we're in the prison, that there's like a ball of Feylight that follows. And it's like basically
I thought it was
like
just Lucian summoning fire or something.
Yeah, but when they're in the prison, not in book 1, when they're in the prison later in this book, there's a Feylight that follows them. I think it's like a magical lantern.
Okay,
how I imagine it. It's like twinkly lights, but they don't have electricity, so Feylights. Okay.
At first, I was like, "Is this is Tamlin's High Lord Golden shit making Rhys look more attractive?" Like I was like, "Is she seeing Rhys through Tamlin's shine?" And she's like,
"Or there."
I don't know.
Yeah,
it's like that's what I was wondering.
Or
about,
there's
like,
the really unhinged theory that Tamlin and Rhys were once lovers, and so
that's my theory.
Rhys is seeing Tamlin with his glamour down, and he's like, "This bastard." So hot.
He's like, "Feyre, we gotta get out of here before he can't."
I gotta go before I fall back into his lover's trap. That's why I came for Calamni. I was trying to be the maiden.
You know there's Rhys and Tamlin fan fictions out there.
100%.
It's funny. I had not really thought about that. Yeah. I mean, people love a forbidden.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I had Haviliard vibes here.
Yeah,
for me.
That's interesting. And then Ianthe is just such a. Why is she so obvious? You'd think she'd be better at fucking playing it cool, but she fucking runs away.
Yeah, I have questions about that bitch.
She was backing away slowly, face drained of color. And Rhys isn't even looking at her, really.
Now, we do know later on that they do have this interaction where he has broken her hand. So it...
What?
Oh,
Rhys didn't break her hand.
Yes, he did.
He broke her hand?
He broke her hand.
I thought he just slaps her hand away and Feyre breaks her hand.
No, he breaks her hand because she grabs his cock.
But I didn't realize that he broke her hand for that.
Yeah, he did. I just read the chapter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like with his magic?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, I guess I was picturing him like bending her fingers back, and I was like,
no, it was like he like
Rhys.
Yeah, no, he like for sure like breaks her hand or her wrist or something. Yeah, like there's bone cracking and sinew snapping. noises or whatever. But yeah, so I'm like, it could just be that, right? That she knows that like his power can lash out, and she's like, "Ooh, neurons that fire together, wire together. No, thank you, buddy." And he said, right, like if you ever step foot in my court again, like I'll fucking kill you. So she's got a,
Yeah.
he's like full on made like a death threat against her.
Yeah.
But I also have other theories because I'm me.
What's your other theories?
I think that she is possibly more worried about him being able to read her mind, and
And she's got plans in there.
that bitch has plans and secrets, and so it's not just fear. I think because it's not, if it was fear, I could see her being like, a fear of like being hurt again. I can see her kind of that's a bad way to say it, but like kind of like still
Mustering,
mustering, or at least, or just kind of like staying back and not saying anything, but being like, this isn't the night court, you don't have authority here, like I haven't touched you. But like there's a lot of arguments that she can make for him to not hurt her, because she's like, I didn't do anything that you told me not to, you came here, like
True.
kind of a thing. But the fact that she straight up bolts, I'm like, ooh, you got secrets in that noggin and you
That is
don't
a
want
good
him to be
point.
able to know. Cause she be scheming
Yeah, she really
for
is.
sure.
Okay, because yeah, I was like, this is such a it's such so
Especially
clear.
when she says, I don't know if she says it in this chapter. She doesn't say anything, but there's some there's something about like her friends across the sea,
That was
or
last chapter.
yeah, her connections across the sea. And I'm like, mm. So I'm like, which direction, baby girl? Because we are assuming it's in Valahan, where you've spent and have made friends on the continent, but there's also a sea that goes to Hybern.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that that's part of it. She's just like, nope, you can't know what's in my brain because I have plans, and you will fuck my plans up.
Yeah, that's it. No, I think that's almost certainly probably something with it. And then the iconic "What a Pretty Little Wedding."
Mm-hmm.
Mm. And I thought it was so funny just the dramatics of this chapter. Like, I mean, Rhys did show himself as like an Amarantha hater by trying to kill her at the end, but I guess it's just the image is still there. The remaining crowd was pressing back, some climbing over seats to get away. It
Yeah.
for some reason it was cartoonishly like it just seems so funny to me.
Yeah, like the amount of fear that he instills in, and I don't know if it's in general populations, like we do see this in other places, but like specifically Spring Court seems very afraid of him. Um
Yeah.
I did underline the whatever had been building beneath my skin went
Yes,
still and cold. And I'm like, because we had talked about whatever was
it being
underneath
a
her
mate
skin
bond,
being the mate bond.
and that doesn't
And
seem right now.
so I think it's also a bits of her, of that power, of the High
Yeah.
Lord power that was kind of rolling underneath her skin.
That's what
Uh,
it seemed like to me, or it seemed like some kind of power, and I was like, I guess it could be the mate bond, but if it's going cold in Reese's presence,
well, and the thing is, the power comes out of her when she's in duress and she's scared and she's trying to protect herself, or she's super overwhelmed with emotion and she's like angry. So it's anger and fear that
yeah,
manifest the High Lord's powers initially. And
hmm
so the idea that like the
calms her down.
fear that she just had the second that he shows up, it's just like it completely calms her down.
hmm Yeah, so I like it as a reading that the earlier mentions on the previous page or 2 pages ago or whatever that
Yeah.
was, is power and
It could still be the mate bond though, right? Because if the mate bond is reeling against this, like, you can't marry this guy, and then finally the mate is there, I can see the bond being like, okay, girl, like, chill out.
oh,
We we
true, yeah,
we
like
got our person, kind of a thing.
that's funny, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, the only thing that I have for page 44 is just like the Ianthe, she's afraid that he's gonna get into her head because, right, like she looks behind. Don't you dare, Tamlin snarls. Behind him, the dais was empty. Ianthe had vanished entirely. So like she just peace out Girl Scout. Can Ianthe winnow?
no idea.
I don't I don't know that she can. I don't think that she
Um,
can.
I mean, I think
Because
it's
I
a
think
bit.
that at some point we talked about that, like, she asks, Feyre asks Lucian about Ianthe's power, and he's like, whatever she gets from being a priestess. And I'm like, ooh, that's very witchy vibes, that like she doesn't really have any power.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I would be surprised if she could win, though, I think. I just noted that, like I said, the tension between Tamlin and Rhys, because, you know,
mhm.
they're lovers. And Rhys is just, like, cold as hell. And then also, okay, oh, yeah, sorry. Feyre also at this moment realizes that Rhys is the only one who knows the truth, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But more, I was interested in this part where it says, "I'll be taking her now," and Tamlin says, "Don't you dare," and then Rhys says, "Was I interrupting? I thought it was over." Um, and then it says, "Oh yeah, t- your high priestess," Rhys says, "Your high priestess seems to think it's over too." Tamlin stiffened as he looked over his shoulder to find the altar empty. When he faces again, the claws had eased halfway back into his hands. What is that? So he looked over and was disarmed by the fact that Ianthe had left? Like, do you think it's weird that when he realizes, oh, Rhys is right, that she did leave, then he's like, "I'll calm down now"? Like, what is that? I just thought it was interesting. Like, you'd think he would be like claws out because he's like, "Okay, well,
Yeah.
it's just me then, buddy." You know?
That, or there's a little bit of defeat there.
Okay.
You know, where he's
Yeah.
like, "No, we're getting married right now." And then you're like, "Well, your priestess is not here." And he's like, "Fuck, I guess, I mean, even if she does stay and I can fight for her to stay, we're still not get like, I can't get everybody back." Like, so I'm wondering
Mm.
if it's a sense of defeat. Um, but I think what is more important from this line is that, let me find it again. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nope, we don't know this. But I do think that what it is confirmed, or what we will confirm, is that Tamlin's claws are Wolverine style.
Uh,
We
yeah.
find out that they come out of his knuckles. I find that to be more interesting.
Oh,
Because we keep wondering if it's a is it a nail thing?
oh
Is it a Manon claw? Or is it a Wolverine claw? This
this
is
is
what the
confirm it
people
here.
want to know, Allie.
Wolverine or Manon?
Yeah.
Man,
Are we going? Yeah, are we going full Manon, or are we going Wolverine? My vote's still on Wolverine.
yeah, I pictured his nails too, but yeah. Well, yeah.
Anyways, I'm being a
Things-
smartass, mostly being a smartass. I thought that this interaction on page 45 was really interesting. That there is, so okay. He said, right, Rhys says, "Such dramatics," and but Tamlin didn't move, and those claws were wholly replaced by smooth skin. He fixed his gaze on Rhys, his lips pulling back into a snarl. "If you hurt her, I know, Rhys drawled. "I'll return her in a week." No, no, Tamlin couldn't be making those kinds of threats, not when they meant he was letting me go. Even Lucian was gaping at Tamlin, his face white with fury and shock.
Yes. Lucian is more pissed.
And do they really think that Tamlin has the ability to stop him?
Mm. I think they're just surprised that Tamlin's like
He concedes
reserved.
pretty fast.
Yeah, I think that's what he's surprised at. Like, what? You try a little harder, buddy.
Yeah. You were like,
Testing
your
his
claws
words,
came out
testing
for
his
like a
words.
second, and then he was just like, "Don't hurt her." And
Yeah,
Lucian's
I think
like,
Lucian would have
you know what?
fought harder.
And
He's got fire in
maybe,
his veins.
eh, yep. Uh, but, and then, so maybe this is part of the like, because I'm always talking shit about how much Tamlin doesn't fucking do anything. And maybe this is one of those moments where Lucian is like so mad because he's like, "You didn't do anything for 50 years. You didn't do anything on that fucking dais when you were sitting next to Amarantha under the mountain. And now this motherfucker, after we've been liberated, is gonna come take your girl, and all you're gonna do is show him one claw and then be like, 'Don't hurt her.'" I could see Lucian be like, "You little bitch."
Yes. Yeah, and that would fit the vibe.
And I like that, like, maybe we're seeing that there's other people close to him in his court who are being very much like, "What does Tamlin do?" Does he do what are we doing here?
Why do we keep him around? Yeah.
What he doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Like
Uh,
he
yeah.
sent the sentries to go and find his thing, and he just fucking hunted Naga for 50 years and bitched about Amarantha. And then when he had the chance to have this girl fall in love with him, he sent her home. And then when she came to rescue him, he sat on the dais and went for 3 months.
Imagine if he had just like killed himself immediately after.
Uh-huh.
We wouldn't have a story, but you know.
We would not. But I mean, we might still. I mean, Rhys could have still come and been like, bargain. And she'd be like, I can't. But then it would have gone on a lot longer because she would have been like, my love died. And he'd be like, he wasn't your love, you dumb bitch.
Oh no, I mean like what if right after Amarantha cursed him, he just was like, oh, so it's until I, fall in love with you, I'm just gonna just kill myself.
Yeah. Yikes.
Not that I advocate for that. I
No,
also
never.
think, we talk about Tamlin being all about the aesthetics a lot, and to me, there's probably very few things more embarrassing than having your wedding shut down by, cockblocker.
Yeah.
And especially like I don't know, I
Especially the
just feel
most
like
beautiful male you've ever seen.
yeah,
Yikes.
I
Yeah.
feel like maybe Tamlin actually gets pissed and like digs his heels in. Like at first, right now, he doesn't seem that upset, but maybe he goes home and he's like embarrassed, and that's what really gets him, and that's what makes him willing to go to Hybern because he's like he
Because
embarrassed.
yeah, right?
Yeah.
Like if nothing else,
He ruined
right?
the aesthetics of this
Yeah,
aesthetic wedding.
he made us look weak
Yeah.
and he challenged my authority and he has fucked up the image of unity in my court. So imagine if people are already questioning his rule and pushing back, and now this
True. There is
happens.
actual like
Yeah,
uprising.
if there's uprising and dissension within his court,
Mm-hmm.
then having someone being like, because then imagine he comes in the next month, right? And it's tithe day, and he's all fucking about it or whatever. And then someone comes in and they're like, we don't have fish, motherfucker. And he's like, you've got 3 days. She's like, what are you gonna do? You couldn't even save your bride. You're gonna come after me for fish, and you're not even going after Feyre? Could you imagine
Yep.
some snippy ass like Gen Zer being like, bro, you couldn't even keep your girl.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I bet you people are talking. I bet there's like whispers.
100%.
Yeah. And
And he's
everyone's
like,
being like,
and
"Listen, like,
everyone is like, oh, we got to spin this. We got to spin it. Everyone knew about her bargain. He kidnapped her. Villain, 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 villain. I'm the victim. And then Tamlin's the victim.
mhm."
Feyre's not the
Yes.
victim. I'm
Right,
the
I was like, "He's
victim.
my victim
He
now."
hurt it. He hurt me. He harmed me. He hurt my court. Blah blah blah. Yeah, all of it is woe is Tamlin. But meanwhile, he's doing the same thing he did for the last 50 years, which is throwing tamtrons in his manor and then making people of his court pay a tithe to rebuild the tamtrons that he made.
Seriously.
Could you imagine? They come into the court and he's like, I need your fish and your potatoes. And she's like, is it because you wrecked your kitchen?
He's like,
I don't want to
I
give
don't
you
like the
our
cabinet.
food. I don't want to give you our food and our livelihood when you're just going to destroy it the next time you get angry, sir.
Mhm.
We're starving and trying to rebuild, but by all means, please blast this to smithereens. Fine.
Dude, the tie chapter is gonna piss me off. They do so much. Her and Lucian and Tamlin are like, do you know the reason they give for that is that they say she's greedy. They overfish. They eat all the fish. Like we're just doing poor people shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, Jesus. Ugh.
I guess we haven't gotten to the tithe chapter yet. Yikes. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I like how she jolts at Rhys's caress of her elbow, but she does not pull away at all.
Yeah, no.
Um,
She's like, ooh, not supposed to like that.
yeah. Oh, and I also thought it was funny how Tamlin immediately that what he did first, his instinct is to go name your price. He
because
just puts a price on her
yeah,
head, and
because
Rhys says she's
she's
priceless.
yeah, yeah, that's his belonging, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How much do you want for her?
I know, he sounds like somebody bargaining with, like, someone who's robbing them, like,
Yeah,
I'll give
yeah,
you what you want."
yeah.
Yeah,
Or like it's like a, she gave me her dowry. Do you want? I'll give you her dowry, and I can just have her back. You can take her father's goats. Just give me back my bride.
dude.
Yikes.
So I feel like, the such dramatics line is because right before she was, like, in her head I don't know if he's listening, but maybe she's screaming this down the bond or
Mhm,
whatever.
mhm.
"You take me back to the night court, the place Amaranthus supposedly modeled under the mountain after, full of depravity and torture and death." And then he's like, "Such
And
dramatic."
then she's like, "Tamlin, please," and he's like, "Oh my god, you guys are drama."
Yeah, it's so funny.
Relax,
Uh,
bitch. I'm not taking you under the mountain.
no, yeah,
Christ.
and it's so funny, like, torture and death and depravity, and I'm like, "Girl,
He's
you
like,
just."
"Do you think I?" And then not only does she like think Rhys has been stuck under the mountain for 50 years, and she
Mhm.
has a little bit of insight knowledge about what he went through. Not the full extent of it, but she knows a little bit. You think that he's going to go back to his court and just be under another mountain, babe? Come on.
Yeah,
You think that he's
actually.
not and I don't mean to be a dick and like hard is hard and everybody's trauma is whatever, but like you think he's not traumatized from that place, love?
Mm,
Like you don't think that he wants a little fresh air? Did you not notice that his skin is already sun-kissed, babe? Like, nobody's living under mountains anymore right now.
yeah, that's true.
Although,
Yeah.
the first thing she says about the night court is the same thing she says about Rhys. Most beautiful, right? He says, "Welcome to the
Oh,
night court." And she
yeah.
says, "It was the most beautiful place I had ever seen." And she's not even seen the prettiest part of the night court.
True. That is so interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Also, do you think that like it's funny? We always talk about Reese saved Feyre from having to admit that she was going to back out of it, but he also saved Tamlin from being someone who got left at the altar, and now
Mm-hmm.
he gets to be like, "Poor me, my
Yep.
wedding got ruined, even though we're in love."
Yeah.
And whereas Feyre leaving him at the altar probably would have been more embarrassing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
Yeah.
interesting reason she spared them both. Maybe that's why he's like, "All right."
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, and then I think at the end of this chapter, right, she says, like, I have to tell Tamlin that I can't, we can't get
yeah,
married,
she has
right?
totally accepted. She's like, "Hell no, this ain't happening."
Yeah,
Uh,
but and so like she's gonna come clean, but yeah, the I think part of her coming clean though is because she's like, well, Rhys knows and he could use it against me.
mhm.
But I think another part of it is that she's just like, no, I need Tamlin to know that I can't marry him right now. So I'm wondering if
Yeah.
it's motivated because she doesn't want it hanging over her head. But there's a part of me that's like that feels like
No, I
she
think she's
knows
just
that
like
Rhys
she
wouldn't
had
do
that
that.
realization.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, we
Um,
are at the Moonstone Palace,
yes, and she does say
and
Moonstone somewhere in there. Yeah,
she does, right? The beyond pillars of Moonstone that frame the sweeping view of the endless snow-capped mountains. Um,
the first smell being Jasmine.
when she was when Rhys gave her the music under the mountain, she does have visions of a Moonstone Palace. Now,
Hmm.
I don't know if it's the same one, but
Yeah.
and she does say it later, much later in the book. Sorry, I read ahead. That when she recognizes the music of Valaris and she's like, "You sent this to me, why?" and blah blah blah. She says, "I saw the night court," and he said, "I didn't send those images to you." So, but
Very
she saw
interesting.
a Moonstone Palace.
But isn't like a lot of this part modeled after like it's like on a sacred site? So maybe she's seeing a different Moonstone Palace.
Yeah, could
Else.
be.
Because there's like three sacred mountains, right? Or well, we know the third one, Ramiel,
So
is on
there's
like
Ramiel. So Ramiel is the biggest, and that's the one that has the House
that
of
does not have a
Wind.
palace on it.
It has the House of Wind on it. Oh
Oh, it's the
no,
one that Nesta climbs
sorry.
with.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So there is so we have three, because I had to look it up because I was like, how many fucking houses does he take her to? So this is the Moonstone Palace that is on top of the mountain that Hewn City, the Court of Nightmares, sits underneath.
That's the one that's modeled like under the mountain.
Yes. And then the mountain that has the House of Wind is a different mountaintop house that overlooks Velaris.
Oh, I always thought that was like sitting on top of like a mesa style, like not. I guess a mesa is a mountain, maybe.
Yeah,
But I'm
I
pretty
mean,
sure it's totally
it's a flat top mountain.
Okay, yeah, maybe.
I guess it would be the top of the House of Wind is like an open. It's like their training area, so it could be a flat topped mountain. There are lots of flat topped, bald mountains. But yeah, so because I was like, does he take like how does the House of Wind overlook Velaris? And she hasn't seen it yet, but that's because she's at the Moonstone Palace.
Yeah. And you know who smells like Jasmine is Aelin.
Yes.
That's her scent.
Yes.
I don't know what that means.
There are a lot of also what smells like Jasmine though is the Torre.
The what?
The citadel, the healing citadel in the south.
Oh, I would say that Torre.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes, that smells like Jasmine too. At least the courtyard does. And there's lots
just
of
be like a regular check.
There are some southern, because it's all fucking, Mongol Arab coded. But there are some definite similarities between Night Court and the southern kingdom.
Yeah.
Especially when he's like, why they built a house that's worthy of Summer Court into cold ass mountains, I don't know. And I'm like, well, maybe because they were Ares for the Rucks in the south, and just thousands of years later, now it's a cold place instead of a hot place, because that happens. But
I was wondering about the line.
But Velaris is also very Terrasen coded as well.
Yes.
There's 5 theaters in Velaris alone, and Velaris is like almost dedicated to the arts. Yeah. It's the most beautiful city in the world, and it has all these theaters and all these musicians, and it's dedicated to art and then when they go to the restaurant, it's not Rita's, but when they go to the restaurant and eat, the decorations inside the restaurant are emerald and gold.
Interesting.
Although then the food is like full of spice and yada yada, and I'm like, oh, but now we're back in the south.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. I'll just see that.
And the south, though, also is this like super amazing, beautiful place that would also have theaters and art and things like that, because like a lot of times in Tower of Dawn, Kale keeps talking about how like Aelin would love this city. She would love this place. And so, could be both. Anyhow.
It's also her first time winnowing, right? Or does Lucian winnow with her before?
No.
Okay, so yeah, first winnowing.
Yeah, so on the next page we have so not only do we have moonstone pillars on page 45, but now we have a moonstone floor on page 46. And a wall of white marble behind her.
Welcome to the Night Court. I always hear that audio. Yeah. The rest of the Night Court had to be behind me. A wall of white marble arose, broken occasionally by open doorways leading into dim stairwells. The rest of the Night Court had to be through there. No wonder I couldn't hear anyone screaming if they were all inside. To me, these just read as ultra cartoonish, but I also felt that way about like the early chapters when in Tamlin's place, where she was like, "Let me keep this butter knife." It's just funny. I will say, all she said this entire chapter is, Tamlin, please, and now, how dare you? That's it. She's been dead silent besides that.
Yeah.
Which is funny.
Well, I mean, she doesn't have anybody to talk to anyways, so why would she think that she could say anything? She's been like utterly silenced and isolated. So, and when she is talking and screaming, it's just in her head.
Yeah.
I do love that he like immediately like kind of spats this in her face a little bit when he's like, um, when she's
You're
like, "What do
welcome,
you?"
you know.
Yeah, well, and then even like, "What do you want from me?" He's like, "Want? I want you to say thank you first of all. Then I want you to take off that hideous dress. You look exactly like the doe-eyed damsel he and that simpering priestess want you to be." And she's like, "You don't know anything about me or us," which is really juvenile. Um, and then he goes, does he ever ask why you hurl your guts up every night or why you can't go into certain rooms or see certain colors?" And she's like, "You're a fucking asshole." But
Mm-hmm.
he's just like, "Yeah, we're going to talk, bitch. You're going to talk to me
Yeah.
because this is unacceptable."
Yeah. He's iconic for that.
I do like, though, that
Um,
he also kind of switches on her when she's like, "Get out of my head." And he's like, "Likewise."
yeah, he's so sassy. I do forget how much I like Rhys, actually. He is a
Hmm.
well-written character.
Yeah.
Um, and he does actually still feel different than all the other Shadow Daddies
Yeah, he
that
does.
came because of him.
He does.
He is like the first Shadow Daddy, right? Or one of them.
It's the first I know of.
He's like, I think he's definitely what popularized it.
Yeah.
Um, Shadow Daddy. Hmm.
Topher seems to think that he's very Rhysand like.
Like he thinks his like he looks like him or like a vibe.
No, his vibes, his smart ass, his like kind of quippy, "I'm gonna be a dick because I can," and I'm like, "Yeah, but like wait till you meet Cassian." And so far he's like hasn't like he's like, "I get how like Cassian's like his smart ass or whatever." He's like, "But I think that that's more of like the younger version of me, and like now because
Now he's recent.
yeah, he's like I could be a little bit more reserved and a little more vicious when I want to be, and like my smart assness is a little bit more pointed than just like
Hmm.
kind of mouthing off
What
and
did he
being
think of this
cocky."
scene? Oh, he didn't see the scene.
He didn't see this scene. He did
Okay.
not
You
see
you
this.
should read it.
Yeah, he did
I
not.
already said I had to.
Yeah, he did not see this scene.
That's crazy.
Immediately though, the first time he meets Tamlin, I fucking love this man. He literally goes, "That's abusive as fuck. What a prick." And I was like, "Yes."
Why? What does he
Yeah.
do when he what's the first thing he says?
Um, now I gotta pop over to chapter 7 real quick. Oh, so when
Oh, after.
I think it's when he gives her the gift. When they have oh, it's after the tithe. So we read the tithe,
Oh,
and then he gets real pissed at her about giving the necklace.
okay. And the abusive part was him telling her she
Yeah,
couldn't
so
do that.
it's in chapter no, it's in chapter 9 actually. It was like so it says, "It was after midnight when I gave up waiting and walked down into the dark silent corridor and found him in his study, alone for once. A wooden box wrapped with a fat pink bow sat on the small table between the twin armchairs." And
Oh,
then
right after the tithe.
yeah, because they have an argument and he stays away for
Oh,
a while, and then as an
classic
apology,
bombing.
he buys her paint, a portable
Yeah.
paint set. And yeah, when he says, "I'm sorry," they say sorry to each other. And then they're like touching on each other or whatever. And he says, "I shouldn't have said those things to you or Lucian. I didn't mean any of them." And then he goes, "You had every right. I was wrong. No, you were right. I don't understand what it's like to be starving or any of it." And then he immediately goes into like trying to seduce her basically. And then he gives her a gift. And Topher was like, "That is like typical. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. Here's your flowers. And now let's have sex." And I was like, "Yep." He was like, "That's the most like basic of abusive husband things I've ever seen." And I'm like, "Uh huh."
Yeah.
But good that I got a dude
You're
who
like,
knows that that's
uh,
fucked up.
yeah.
Because, like,
That's
at some point he even mocked it. He was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Feyre, that I punched you in the face. I was just so mad I can't control myself. Here's some flowers. Now come suck on it." And I'm like, yeah, that's basically what he does.
yeah. Actually, I did. I read right through it. I was like, oh, he said sorry.
Yep,
I didn't mean to.
yep, give her a present.
Actually, I think when I initially read that Tamlin line where he like exploded. I thought it was like a magic plot line, like some
Yeah.
shit happened with his magic, and like it was gonna like I didn't realize. So maybe that's also why. See, it's kind of eerie,
Hmm.
because it's her magic doing some shit. Really, is what it is. But yeah,
I don't have any notes for page 48.
he does. Oh, there is a line where it describes Rhys's touch like a brand, and I
Mm-hmm.
was like, oh, that's usually reserved for Tamlin. So, but it
Yeah.
was interesting. It's on page 46. Um, and yeah, I said he immediately frames his actions as a fulfillment of a request, which isn't like necessarily manipulative, but it is interesting. Um, and she also does not deny that she'd been saying no. She just said, I didn't want to be stolen away.
Yeah.
But she's not like trying to hide it.
I do think, like, it still is interesting to me that she, and maybe more is more interesting the second read because, right, hindsight and all the things, but
Mhm.
like, she really expects him to put her in a dungeon cell? Like, come on, Feyre. Like, really? Like, I get that,
Yeah.
but also, like, she has been locked up basically for 3 months by Tamlin, and that's the guy who's supposed to love her. So, like, maybe
Yeah.
she's just expecting the
She's
absolute
just
fucking
sorted.
worst right now. And Tamlin the whole time has been like, we need to break this bargain because he's gonna torture you to death. And she's like, so like, maybe it's not like, I feel like if she had thought a little bit, she probably would have been like, oh, it makes sense we're not going down there. Okay, cool. But like for her to actually think like you're not going to take me to a dungeon under a mountain and he's like, you are you dumb?
Are you
No.
dumb? Yeah, 'cause even like, isn't it like a chapter ago she, like, defends Rhys? She
Mhm.
goes, "You don't know him at all,"
Yeah.
to fucking
Yeah.
Hart. Wait, what was that about? What is it about?
Um oh,
Oh,
then
the
when he says that Rhys is afraid because Tamlin has his full powers back and she's like, you don't know Rhys at all then.
okay, so that's actually still not the same it's more talking about
Yeah,
Rhys's
cuz it's
power.
still his, yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I was thinking like, wait, she's talking about okay, anyway. Um, "You're not a prisoner, Feyre."
Yeah, I love that that's like his first kind of, like, other than taunting her and being kind of a dick for a minute.
Mhm.
Um yeah, that like the first thing that he really says about her staying there is like, you're not a prison. Nobody's going to touch you or hurt you or even think bad about you. Just go be yourself. Go take a bath and rest and get out of that stupid ass dress.
Yeah, he's genuinely pissed at that. It's, his eye or whatever it says about it.
The rage flickered in his eyes again at the
Yeah.
dress, the hair.
Yeah, at the top, yeah.
Well, because it makes her look weak and
And
she's
it
not. And it's also like parading her in a way
what
like
Tamlin
that's his
wanted.
mate
Mhm.
and he wants to defend her and he's like, it's bad enough that I was willing to just get drunk tonight and let you choose your own fucking path even though I know you're my mate and it's going to break me in ways. But now that's what you were going to do is just go ahead and just be this figurehead with no power and just what the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I also okay. Sorry, let me see where this is. Oh, okay, it's actually after the shoe thing. Um, are we ready to talk about the shoe?
Sure.
Um,
Where is the shoe? Oh, okay, not
the
yet.
shoe.
Hold on. I have something
Okay.
before this.
Okay.
Um, I do love that he's already kind of challenging her to like be more, I don't know, more herself, where he's like, you mortals. And then she asks that, and he's like, should I consider you something different? You gonna
Yeah,
stand
what
up
is
for
I
yourself? You
don't
gonna fucking say something? Like, and I think that that's what it is, where it's like, Tamlin's reducing you to the weakness that we think of as mortals. Even though as a mortal, you fucking saved all of Prithian. So if you're gonna be reduced to what we think of mortals, should I think of you any differently, Fair? Do you think of yourself as any differently, as more powerful?
Well, that is I was thinking, okay, honestly, my first thought here was maybe Reese is not mortal like a Fae would be, like he's an immortal to the immortal Fae type deal. Like he's 500, but he's gonna live on like longer. I think they live to be like 2,000. Maybe he's like gonna live to like 10,000 or something. So I almost
Yeah.
wonder if he's like letting something slip that he considers Tamlin a normal Fae, a mortal, and he's sort of calling her a normal Fae now a normal Fae, immortal. That's at first what I thought, but yeah, I think it's something simpler than that.
Or
I just was interested.
maybe he's trying to figure out if she still considers herself the owner of a mortal heart, right?
Okay, yeah,
Because at the end of the
that's probably
first
actually what
book,
it is.
right, where she's like, I kind of wish that my heart
Yeah.
had changed too. And he's like, pity those who don't feel anything. And he's trying to talk to her in terms that she'll understand, right? So he's just like,
Mhm.
under the mountain is what you mortals call my occupation. Like he's trying to make it understandable for her. And she's like,
Yeah.
us mortals. And he's like, would you like me to consider you something different? And I think part of that could be kind of pushing to be like,
Yeah, that's interesting.
have you lost more of your soul in the last 3 months?
Well, and I also think like in a way he wanted her to keep her mortal heart, so he's like sort of choosing to refer to her as the option that is like, best for her. I don't know.
Yeah, something,
Or
maybe.
maybe she wants to keep it. But yeah, anyway, okay, that's interesting.
I do love that she is not afraid of him. I mean, she's afraid of going under the mountain, but I think that's more of a claustrophobic prison thing. She's not afraid of
Yeah.
Rhys. She throws her shoe at him.
Yes. Okay. So in that so she gets he says, I'm willing to accept your things anytime, and then red exploded in my vision. I couldn't breathe fast enough, couldn't think about the roar in my head. One heartbeat, I was staring after him. The next, I had a shoe in my hand. I hurled it at him with all my strength, all my considerable and mortal strength. I barely saw my silk slipper as it flew through the air, fast as a shooting star, so fast that even a High Lord couldn't detect it as it neared and slammed into his head. Rhys whirled, a hand rising to the back of his head, his eyes wide. I already had the other shoe in my hand. Rhys' lip pulled back from his teeth. I dare you. Temper. He had to be in some mood today to let his temper show this much. Good. That made two of us.
So,
Yeah, that part I
so
wrote. She is not afraid of him. She
she,
notices he's angry and she does not back away because she
she,
doesn't think he's gonna hurt her.
yeah, she's not afraid of his temper. And for her to say he must have been in some mood today to let that temper show, noting his restraint with his temper, where Tamlin has no restraint with his temper.
Yeah. And
Tamlin's
she
all
wouldn't
rage.
push Tamlin this far, I don't think.
No.
Like,
She told him she was like trying to be, I mean, she does this in the future, but like she's trying to actually like be vulnerable and open up to him and is like, I feel like you're suffocating me, and he explodes. She straight up throws a shoe at Tamlin, is like, come at me, bitch. And he's like,
at least,
yeah, sorry. And
yeah.
like, and she still throws it.
Yeah. And he's
She's
just
like,
like,
I dare
I'm
you.
not
And she's
I'm
like, all
done.
right, I got you. I'll go ahead. And she still throws it.
Yeah.
I did not notice this very interesting thing the first time I read the book.
Is that he missed her shoe?
She missed her shoe.
She does?
Rhys hissed and lowered the shoe, his eyes meeting mine as the silk dissolved to glitter black dust in his fist. His fingers unfurled, the last of the sparkling ashes blowing into oblivion, and he surveyed my hand, my body, my face. Interesting, he murmurs. She did that.
Oh, I thought okay. My note here from my second read through was interesting that she's not afraid of him. Like he notices that she's like gonna play ball. But then I was also thinking like I thought it was interesting that how'd you throw that so fast and so hard? You must have weird strength that I didn't know about. That's what I thought it was about. But you think it's
I think
that
he
she
caught it, and she was pissed that he caught it and it didn't hit her, and he's holding it, and then she dissolves it into mist, and that's when he opens his hand because now it's
oh
gone.
he hissed. Reese hissed and lowered the shoe.
Yes.
That hiss is a surprise.
Yes.
Oh. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Wait, I actually completely missed that.
She missed his shoe with his power, and that's
Yeah.
when he looks at her and goes, "Interesting," and then walks away. Because
Dang.
now this is his, like, he's already, because I'm sure that she's
Right.
screaming down the bond, do I have power, blah 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 blah,
Mhm.
right? He might have an inclination that maybe she got some sort of power from the High Lords, and now there's like actual proof, and she used his power
His
against
power.
him.
Yeah. That's crazy. Okay.
Love that.
I do think it's weird though, right after this, at the end she goes, Reese's answering snarl sent my footsteps hurrying. I was like, what does that mean? She heard him snarl and she's like, oh no, and then runs away. I think it's
Yeah.
just meant to be a tension moment, but anyways,
That
it was
or
interesting.
because she wants to punch him in the face, that
True. She's like, I gotta get out of here.
she's like, I gotta go because I still want to punch him, and he's clearly in a fucking mood too, and this is not going to end well, and nobody's going to be able to, because she says like, um, hold on here, no one would be coming to rescue me, no one would even hear, uh, no one was even here to witness my screaming, right? Which like, relax, girl, but.
And we get Moore's first line.
Mm-hmm.
So that went well.
I love that she walks into the room and she's like, damn, this is good digs.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
Yeah.
this is what made me very curious about the possible connections between Night Court and Southern Continent, because at the top of the next page she says this room was fit for an empress.
Mm.
We've never talked about empresses. I mean, she does say that the continent has empires and kingdoms and nations and peoples and
Mm.
whatever, but like, there's high lords and there's kings and there's queens. There's no empresses that we know of, and for her to go like, this is because she could have said this is worthy of a queen, but she says
Yeah.
empress,
That's
and I thought that was
interesting.
really interesting.
I think that either means something or SJM didn't think it through. But
I
I like the idea that
mean,
it could mean something because there is that weird connection.
yeah.
Um Also, we have to talk about this bathtub. Okay. Occupying across the room, a chamber with a porcelain sink and toilet lay behind an arched wooden door, but the bath. Occupying the other half of the bedroom, my bathtub was actually a pool hanging right off the mountain itself. A pool for soaking or enjoying myself. So, is the soaking the enjoying myself, or is it for soaking and cleaning yourself, or masturbating? And is there a shower head in there?
She's
Uh,
like,
because like that's she said soaking and enjoying myself. They're separate.
she's just like in there swimming laps, singing some fucking mortal bard tune, and she doesn't know any of them very well because there's no theaters in the mortal land, so she doesn't know what good music is except for the one time under the mountain. So she's just in there being like, ba da 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 in the top.
That is a different way.
She's just like waist deep, tits out over the night court, singing really badly,
Yeah.
making little horses out of water and shit.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Apparently, my idea of enjoying myself was a different idea than what you
Yeah. Yours is
thought.
much cuter and more innocent.
Yeah, yeah,
Mine
yeah.
was like
Yeah, no, I
she's
mean,
nasty.
yeah, maybe.
Anyway, I'm just being a shithead. I also thought it was interesting that she didn't do the safety measures. Maybe it's just she got smarter than in the first book when she was like, well, let's just put a little trap here on the door just in case.
I
Now
wrote
she's
that
just like,
too.
it's not gonna do
Well,
anything.
and so that was, yeah, right. She was like,
Maybe she just knows Faye better now.
she does walk around the room, right? After scouring it for any signs of danger, after learning every exit and entrance and hiding place, I paused in the center to contemplate where exactly I'd be staying for the next week. So she does like look around and like is checking shit out, making sure that it's whatever. But then, yeah, on page 51, I didn't bother barricading the door. Rhys could likely fly in if he felt like it, and I had seen him shatter a fairy's mind without so much as blinking. I doubt a bit of wood would keep him out of that horrible would keep out that horrible power. And then she gets naked. So, she's like, whatever, you can come in if you want. And then she strips down. But even in book one, when she knows that Tamlin can break through the door, she still barricades it.
Yeah, she does that for a long time. Now, maybe that's just because she doesn't truly fully understand Fae powers and stuff like that, but
But even
I think
still,
it's a vibe.
I think it's a vibe too that, like, even though she's like, I know that he could rip right through this, he ripped right through our door of our hovel and he has that giant beast form. So, like, she knows that he can just bust through the wall. She still sets a trap, she still sets a snare, right? But then when
Mhm.
she's in the night court, she's like, he could just winnow in whenever he wants. So I might as well get naked and go enjoy myself in the bathtub. I mean, she goes to bed first, but yes. She's just
Mhm.
like, whatever. Tits out, let's go.
Yeah.
Topher did say that there's not enough butt in this book. He's like,
But
he's like, there's a lot of titties in this book. There's lots of breasts, but nobody
yes.
talks about a nice butt. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's not SJM style. She's not a butt girl.
I feel like it's because she's a millennial and we didn't know that butts were like a thing until like 2014.
It's like, Rhys is a tit guy.
They're like apples.
Yeah, delicious apples, yeah. I truly hate the bottom of page 51.
Maybe I'd wait until the mating bond snapped into place until I knew for sure it couldn't be some mistake that I was worthy of him.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? So let's say that he can hear her thoughts still because she doesn't know how to shield and she's screaming things down the bond. Your mate is hoping that a mate bond snaps with the person that she quote unquote loves so that she can be worthy of him. When you know that he has sat on his fucking keister for 50 years and didn't do shit under the mountain and is treating her like hot garbage and is being a literal fuck. And he, like, I would be so mad. And that's probably why Rhys is pissed, because he's just like, it's one thing for you to love somebody else. Like, if you want somebody else, like, it sucks and I get it and I will stand aside and blah, 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 and whatever else. But that's the guy? And you're worried if you are worthy of him, and not even like with the whole like rose-colored glasses, I love her and she can do no wrong and she's perfect, but like legit kind of facts being like, you went as a human and saved this entire continent, and you want to know if you're worthy of this guy?
Yeah. It is very like it's a depression thought. She ain't thinking
Yeah.
right. She is skewed. And right before that line is also where she's like, I had to tell him there
Yeah.
couldn't be a wedding.
Yep.
She is fully like, nope, not doing this. Hell no. Which is nice. And also a step. Like before she was like, she's decided now. Which I do think is
Well,
the
and
first
then
step to
also
breaking up.
acknowledging that Tamlin has work to do, which is nice, right? Maybe wait until he too had faced the nightmare stalking him.
Mm-hmm. I also like how she doesn't even really like her under her lingerie. She's just like, oh, this is for him, and she's just
Oh, yeah. We get lots of lingerie talk later, so.
my undergarments were ridiculous. Also, what's this headache? Is that anything? I forget where exactly it says it, but like, does the headache mean anything, or is it just like she had a long day?
Oh. She wakes up with a headache, right?
I think she has one before. Let me see.
Oh, yeah. I was tempted to linger in the luxurious heat of the bathtub for the rest of the day, but a faint, endless, amused tug cleaved through my headache. So she has a headache before that.
Oh, okay, yeah. Top of 53.
Yeah.
She's talking about Noella and Caradwyn, and then she said, I wonder why my bed felt so much softer, why mountains flowed into the distance and not spring grasses and hills, and then it all poured back in, along with a throbbing, relentless headache.
I think it's the realization. I think it's the stress.
Okay.
Although, when people are around Valg, they get headaches.
Okay. I don't remember headaches ever in this.
Yeah.
I never hear any talk of it.
Headaches are a big thing in Throne of Glass because every time you get too close to the Valg, they give you headache. Or you get too
Forgot
close.
about that entirely.
You get too close to the word keys, they give you headaches, not the Valg. Well, Valg too, but the word keys give you headaches.
And we don't really ever come back to the Mountain Palace except for in this book.
Well, so Nuala, now I'm grasping. Nuala and Caradwyn are the ones who painted the whirls and swirls on her that we are contemplating our word marks. And now this is our first seeing them again.
And she got a headache. Yeah, they could totally be like some kind of Valg creation or something. But good Valg. I don't mean they're evil.
They are half Wraith, half High Fae. Amren tells us that later.
Okay.
And Amren is like, wraiths are nothing but shadows, so I don't know how the fuck they came into being, because
Oh
some high
yeah,
fae had, and then she's like, high fae will stick their cocks in anything.
I do remember that now.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think part of it is that she just feels like shit, right? Like
Yeah,
it was a stressful day.
I think it's just ending the paragraph like that.
Well, and like all the memories pouring back into you, like realizing, like, you know, when you wake up, I don't know if you do this. This is a me thing, maybe specifically because I got ADHD. But like, not only do I replay all of the conversations in my head on a normal day, but like, one of the reasons why I don't drink anymore is because even if I have done absolutely nothing to be embarrassed about, the second I wake up the next morning after drinking, my initial thought is, did I make an ass of myself? And I start like going over the day and I'm like, what did I say? Who's mad at me? Who did I like offend? Like, because I'm fucking psychotic. And so like the waking up with that like panic attack of like, oh fuck, this is not great. Like that'll give you a headache.
It's funny. Yeah, I don't really get drunk though.
Yeah, no,
Um,
neither do I anymore.
well, I haven't gotten drunk
Yeah.
often, but yeah. Faint, endlessly amused, tug. Now it's starting to be cute to her.
Yep. And the headache does go away once she gets some tea and some food. So maybe that's it too. Like girl's just fucking dehydrated and hungry.
Oh, yeah, maybe it's actually just a sign that she's like chilled out enough to where she's not like in a panic mode, can't eat.
Yeah.
She's like relaxed. And
Yeah.
now she's like, me hungry.
Have you ever had such tension in your shoulders that when it relaxes it hurts?
No, but I don't get very anxious.
Mm.
I just kind of barrel through it and
We're
just
learning a lot about Sam in this episode. But yeah, like I carry a lot of my, like there's days where it feels like my shoulders just attached to my fucking earlobes because I'm so tense. That's where I carry my stress. And then when I relax, I'm like, this like hurts.
that's hilarious because I have the opposite problem. My shoulders accidentally like dislocate a little bit when I'm walking because I'm just like so relaxed that they're just popping out of socket. I think I have some kind of thing genetically that like and
Your
it's
ligaments are a little loose.
it's called, what is it called? I forget what it's my for some reason I can just kind of pop my shoulder like out
Nope, nope, yep.
easily. You can
Yikes.
even yeah, but
It's
it doesn't
not,
hurt at all. In fact,
yeah.
it's like a sort of I do that when I'm like bored and I'm just like,
You're like
you
double
know, and I can do it with
jointed.
my hips too.
I can do it with my hip. I can do it with my right hip, not my left hip. But yeah,
Yeah, but
you're like double
so I'll be
jointed
walking and
almost.
I'll be like, yeah, probably.
Yeah, or it's like or like hypermobility.
Yeah, and I'll be like, my arms aren't in. I'm gonna put them back in because I just won't notice it.
Oh, that's how I'm starting off the next podcast. Allie, are you good? Are your arms in?
Your arm, like probably not.
Oh, I love that. Oh, my arms aren't in. This is like I'd forget my head if it wasn't attached. I was just like, where are my arms?
Yeah, that is kind of my vibe.
Oh, I truly adore this friendship of ours.
Yeah.
We're just falling apart over here, guys. It's fine.
We're not doing that bad actually.
Like, have you ever relaxed so hard that it hurts and you're like, my arms don't fit?
Yeah.
Oh, the amount of like gold that gets cut from these episodes because there's just no room for this.
Dude. Yes. Uh, oh, there's another instance also of his eyes through light in this chapter, which I thought were interesting. I think it's on page, yeah, page 54.
Mm-hmm.
Those violet eyes were vibrant in the light. I don't know. There's something about there's like violet eyes, light, twice in this chapter.
You
Probably
know
doesn't
who
really mean
else
anything.
has stars and moons in their
Fucking
eyes?
Maeve.
No. Well, that too, but
No.
no. Dorian.
Oh.
His sapphire eyes twinkle and looks like stars are in them. Mm-hmm. Just saying. Although I really, truly will kind of love if Rhysand's last name is Moonbeam. I'm gonna fucking lose it. He's like, that would make sense when he's like, it's embarrassing. Yeah, because you're the High Lord of the Night Court and your last name is Moonbeam? Come on.
Yeah, that reminds me of Moonhatch. That was a what? I can deal with a nickname, but that one is not a good nickname.
What did he name her?
I like Violence over Moonbeam. He names her Moonbeam.
Yeah, it's a little on the nose.
Well, because yeah,
I like Violence.
It's not a natural nickname. Violence is funny because it's like you might say that on accident, and it's like a little cheeky. You know, people say that it gives them the ick, but I'm like, you guys know this is a joke, right? Like, he's not actually being like, I love violence, and you're my
yeah. No,
he's not being serious. He's joking.
It's almost like being like. By calling
sarcastic
her,
or like sassy.
Yeah, and like by calling her Violence, he's being like, "Woo, scary Violet." Like,
but yeah, it's exactly that's actually well done in Fourth Wing. Like that is how like your classic jokes go.
I will say, I do see kind of a ugh in this chapter when she talks about the clothing, and it's very much like harem pants and a crop top.
Just like Jasmine.
Yeah, right. That the high-waisted peach pants were loose and billowing, gathering at the ankles with velvet cuffs of bright gold. The long sleeves of the matching top were made of gossamer, also gathering at the wrists, and top itself hung just to my navel, revealing a sliver of skin as I walked, comfortable, easy to move in, to run, feminine, exotic. You're like, ugh. Yeah, if she had just taken away exotic, it's just a little... But again, I mean, it's a critique, but like,
it would be exotic to a mortal human or someone from the Spring Court, but it just gives because it aligns so closely. It's like,
really, yeah, right, and it's not even it's not even new criticisms, right? Like Edward Said wrote Orientalism a very long time ago. It is on like every decent history majors, undergrad majors reading list at some point, right? It's like the fundamental writing of the critiques of Western opinions of quote unquote the East, or at that time the Orient, which of course we don't use anymore, and that it's this, exotic, sexy, hypersexualized place, and that you can't truly understand anything that goes on in any of these places if it's given to you through the filter of the West. And like, he shines a light on that. And then, I will fact check myself, but for the year that it was written, 1977.
Okay.
So like, he wrote about this in 1977. Like, we knew better. We knew a little better.
Yeah, she wrote that in 2015. Yeah.
And so like, and it's very much like, harem pants are something that is Eastern culture, right? Middle Eastern culture, Arab culture specifically. And she straight up says exotic.
Yeah.
And so it's not even veiled. And to be honest with you, when was Tower of Dawn published? She straight up says, like, the Kagan is based on these books about the Mongols, which we can have that conversation later.
And she did hire someone to help her with it.
If you had someone hire you to help you with it, or if you at least read academic works about the area, it doesn't make sense that she wouldn't have come across notions of the problems with Orientalism and be slightly more informed to not straight up just write the word as a single sentence, exotic.
That's why I don't want to ever pull from the real world.
Yeah, no.
Like, let's just make up new clothes. How about that?
Yeah.
And the close thing is,
all she had to do was not make the pants tight at the ankles.
Yeah, because that's really what gives it that look.
Yeah, high-waisted, billowing. You're like, I mean, you could maybe argue like, no, they're actually joggers. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, all she had to do was just to keep them straight-legged. But she's a millennial, and millennials.
She was like, I want to do Agrabah.
I'm thinking like Arabian Nights, but
Aladdin was my sexual awakening.
Ugh, the story of Aladdin is actually a Chinese story.
No, I just assumed that Disney took some Middle Eastern story and just like changed a fuck ton of shit.
Nope. They basically took like the original kind of story is originates in China, and they were just like, let's just put like a quote unquote Arabian Nights like skin on this story.
Maybe they just like had Jasmine drawn. They were like, "That's fire."
And then they were like, "Oh, we need like the sexiest like Middle Eastern man to inspire the work of Aladdin," and they go, Tom Cruise. Aladdin's drawing, his animation is based on Tom Cruise.
It is?
Mm-hmm.
That's so weird. I did think it was funny that or not funny, interesting. She's kind of explaining the court's decent exposition. It's not too like over the top. It makes sense for this chapter. The nature of the seasonal courts, he said, this is top of 55, is linked to the High Lords, whose magic and will keeps them in eternal spring or winter or fall or summer. It's always been like that, some sort of strange stagnation. But the solar courts, day, dawn, and night, cannot are more of a symbolic nature. We might be powerful, but even we cannot alter the sun's path or strength. And I just thought that was interesting because, first of all, the seasons are also derived from the sun's path to some extent, right?
Yep.
So, but I mean,
To every
fair, you could
extent,
just like kind of create weather and stuff. But then I was like, oh, what keeps it in power? What keeps it balanced? High Lord's magic and will. And right now, in book 5, it kind of feels like Tamlin's like kind of like losing the will to live. So I almost wonder if like, are we gonna see like autumn and spring court in book 6 because he's just like, fuck this.
Or, hear me out. Lucian is the one who does the Calamni, right? To re-imbue the magic of spring.
Oh, you think that's what keeps their that magic part?
That's what he says. That no, I think he's well. Okay, maybe I don't know, but I'm thinking part of it could be Calamni.
This is magic of the land. Yeah.
He's part of it. So there wouldn't be a difference because Lucian's magic is day court, and flowers work just as well in the daytime.
Well, I mean, it must be some. I think other
it also says that all 7 High Lords come and fuck around, and that re-imbues the land too. And the people of the court also, their fornication, abuse the land. They're coupling, not fornication.
That's interesting. Yeah, I was just thinking, like, what happens if Tamlin?
But that would be a fun little. You know, it would be really because then we could really talk about it being a Hades and Persephone retelling. But Tamlin would take on the role of Demeter, who is Persephone's mom, because she, when Persephone is away, right, the world goes into winter, right, because she's not she's not blooming anything anymore. And then when she's back, it's it's spring and summer because it's she's all happy and fucking sunshine and rainbows and shit. And so that's an interesting retelling. And the fact that Tamlin is like crazy overbearing and doesn't let her do anything is also very Demeter.
He's just got the spirit of her actual mother in him.
Yuck. Yeah. Ew.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, I forgot they fuck.
Yep.
Yep. Yucky. But anyway, I just imagine maybe book 6 we're gonna see some summer, some autumn.
I did underline, I'll admit I don't know why my predecessors built a palace fit for the summer court in the middle of the mountain range. That's mildly
that feels like a tell.
Yeah. I'm like, because it wasn't always cold there because you were in the south.
Oh, no, I was thinking because they were different or because they're from somewhere else or because they're like...
Yeah, possibly.
Like, yeah. It speaks to the Night Court not really being from there.
Also, I almost went and got Tower of Dawn, though, to start lining up maps and start looking at some shit. Because the way that the mountain ranges are in Prythian are similar to how they are in Tower of Dawn.
Yeah, I can't remember the Tower of Dawn map, but yeah. I know we've talked about it before.
I do like this conversation because there is a sense of honesty that they have between them that she doesn't have with anybody else, right? Because he's explaining the mind connection, right?
And his concern.
Yeah, but then, like, how often do you just rifle through my mind when my shields are down? And he says, when I can't tell if your nightmares are real threats or imagined, when you're about to be married and you silently beg anyone to help you, only when you drop your mental shields and unknowingly blast those things down the bridge. And to answer your question before you even ask, yes, even when your shield's up, I could get through them if I wished. You could train, though, against someone like me, someone with my abilities, even with the bond of our minds. So, like, already in this, I guess, second conversation, because they've already had kind of a first conversation on the, when she throws her shoe at him. But even in this very, very early conversation, he's giving her information. He's pointing out that she's struggling. She's like, yeah, I don't know why you're surprised, right? He's talking about her nightmares, talking about how she's, throwing up. And then he's honest with her when she's like, how often do you go into my head? And he's just like, whenever you start shouting things, or whenever I don't know, like, if there's a threat that is real or not.
Mm-hmm.
And like the amount of vulnerability and honesty that they have in a very, very early, she hasn't seen this guy in 3 months, right? And he, like, quote unquote traumatized her under the mountain, right? Or whatever, even though she knows there's like a reason for it, but still she's terrified to go under this mountain again, right? So all of this stuff, and yet they can still have this civilized, vulnerable conversation where she has been in the spring court for 3 months with the guy she loves and hasn't even breached the conversation that she doesn't like to paint anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My note for this was just womance. And we get our homework. We're gonna fucking read.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta read Feyre.
Yeah. Well,
Time
I mean,
for
that's
book
because
club.
he wants her to read the book of the breathing, but yes.
Although, isn't that in a different language anyway? So she can't.
Well, it's possibly in a different language, but yes, they don't know what language it's in. It ends up being in a different language.
It's a good skill reading,
Yeah, but I mean, she calls him out for it later. She's like, "That's why you wanted me to read, so that I could possibly read this book." And he's like, "That was one of the reasons." Yeah, it was I suspected. It would be. He's like, "But yeah, but you also just need to know how to read, you crazy bitch."
Yeah, that's funny.
He's like, "You're gonna live for 1,000 years, and you're not gonna take pleasure, and
you ain't gonna read one page.
You're not gonna do that. Come on, you ain't got shit to do for 1,000 years, girl." And honestly, when she goes back to the night court after she becomes better at reading, she says that, like, her books are her friends.
Yes.
But yeah, so like reading is also a way for her to like fight the loneliness of the spring court when she goes back, and he knows that could be helpful too.
Yeah. Yeah. Chapter 6, is this just, it ends with her going back to the spring court, huh?
I think that he asks her to work with him in chapter 6. And we meet more.
Mm-hmm. He asked her to work with him, but he does say, oh wait, they're still talking in it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he does ask her to this about the cereal.
She challenges him on being enemy or friend or foe. And he keeps saying, "I'm not your enemy." And yeah, he asks her to like work with, maybe not like the full like job option, kind of like, I'm gonna pay you for it, but that to like it ends with him telling her that war is coming.
Mm-hmm.
And chapter 7 is when he kind of throws it out there a little bit more for her to work with him. And then she goes back to the night court, or to the spring court.
He offered you a job? What the fuck?
Yeah. My woman doesn't have to work.
Don't put her ideas in her head, man.
Do I not give you a good enough life? You want to go get a job?
Yeah.
There's not enough around here for you to do, Feyre. You gotta go work.
That voice is yucky.
Me and my people and my tithe provide everything for you, Feyre. What could you possibly want more money for?
Imagine if she was like, I really need some new earrings.
Yeah. She's like, I just need to get the fuck out of this house, motherfucker. And he's like, 50's housewife.
Yeah.
I'll get you a new vacuum. It'll be great.
That's funny. Well, so next week we we jump to chapter 6. We get a lot of interesting discussion.
Yeah, a lot more information. We get some more glimpses into how Ianthe is a little bit sus, and we're still not at the spring court though. Spring court comes in chapter 7, so
Yeah.
Chapter 6, we'll finish up our conversation with Rhys, and yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, to the stars who listen, we will see you next week.
See you next week.